look over there? Big red lips, long blonde hair. Say, come here, baby, let me catch your stare. Like the way you walk when you walk over there. Hey, yeah, would you look over there? Long black boots and long hair. Say, come here, baby, let me catch your stare. Like the way you walk when you walk over there. Ain't no girl like, ain't no girl like that. No girl like that. I just want to talk to you. Want to talk to you. Come on, let's drive around. Take the top down, fool around. Come on, let's drive around. Take the top down, fool around. Hey! Hey now, would you look over there? Big red lips and long blonde hair. Say, come here, baby, let me catch your stare. Like the way you walk when you walk over there.
All right. How you doing, folks? Ron Raymond here from the Raymond Report with the opening bell for Monday. It is December 5th. Hope you have yourself a good start to your Manic Cash Out Monday. As always, don't forget, subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right-hand corner or hit the subscribe button below this video if you're using a mobile device. Today's podcast is brought to you by your good friends right here at atsstats.com. Follow the top stats and trends each and every day right here at atsstats.com. All right, welcome to the opening bell. And this is a new segment that we're starting this week where you can join us each and every morning at 9 o'clock for the opening bell. And then today at 9:45 Eastern, we're going to go into the NHL podcast. And then at 10:30, we're going to have our NBA podcast, followed by our NFL podcast at 11:30. And then we have our pick show in the afternoon at 2 o'clock. You can join in for members only, the pick show right here at the Raymond Report Sports Betting Podcast on our YouTube channel. Again, this is the opening bell. And what we do here each and every morning is we're going to talk about the stats, the trends, the Bears and Bulls report, what came in this weekend, what's going on in the markets, and that's exactly what the opening bell is all about. We're going to look at the standings. I'm going to give you guys some good stats and trends for this upcoming day in sports betting for Monday, December 5th, and we'll finish the show with the 80% Club, and then we'll be back here at 9:45 Eastern with the NHL podcast. All right, I see my good friend FU Cancer's in the house.
Hey, hey, hey.
Good morning, FU. Hondo's in the house. Let's go. Hondo says Hondo. And yeah, so let's get to the opening bell. And let's talk about what's happening tonight in the NBA. So right now, the Bucks are traveling to Orlando as a 9.5-point road favorite. The over-under is set at 226. Sixers taking on the Rockets. Philadelphia, a 7-point favorite in this one. The over-under is at 222. Phoenix Suns traveling to Dallas. This is probably the game of the night between the Dallas Mavericks and the Phoenix Suns. The Mavs, a 3-point favorite. The over-under is set at 221. You got the Raptors hosting the Boston Celtics. There's another great matchup. In fact, Boston coming off that win yesterday against Brooklyn, and they are 1.5-point road favorite against the Raptors tonight, and that will be played at the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto. That's probably your game of the night there, along with the Suns and Mavericks. Then you got the Pacers taking on the Warriors. Warriors, big favorite in this one. 10.5 is the line. 239.5 is the total. You got the Clippers taking on the Charlotte Hornets. LA, a 3.5-point road favorite at Charlotte. Then you got Memphis, -2 against the Miami Heat. The over-under at 226.5. And then you got the Atlanta Hawks taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Hawks, a 6-point favorite. The over-under at 231.5. Let's go to the Betman circuit. Let's see what's going on in the NHL here this evening. And you have the Vancouver Canucks hosting the Montreal Canadiens. Canucks, a 200 favorite. The over-under is set at 6.5. That seems like a very high line for a team that's been very below 500 against a team like Montreal, who can some nights bring their A game, but other nights they put the bed, right? Calgary, -350. Another overrated line right here, or an exaggerated line of -350. That is, if you talk about inflation, there it is right there in Calgary. 6 is the total. You got the Vegas Golden Knights going to Boston. That's your game of the night right there in Beantown. You got the Bruins, a 170 favorite. The over-under is set at 6. You got Edmonton, 155 favorite against Washington. The Capitals total there is at 6.5. The Blues, we'll see. They'll sing the Blues at Madison Square Garden tonight. Rangers, -165, and the total's at 6. That, you know what? It'll be interesting to see how the Rangers bounce back after 2 losses. And you saw their captain wasn't too happy after he one of his tilts there in Chicago against Chicago. And then you got the Avalanche taking on the Flyers. The Avs a minus 210 road favorite. The over/under is set at 6, and only one game in the National Football League tonight. That's your Monday Night Football game between Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints. Now, the line right now is -3.5 at some points, some books, and 41.5 is the total, and that game will be played tonight at Raymond James Stadium. All right, let's see my good friend Brent Vienna's in the house. Good morning, Brent. And where's I got to give Brent his, yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Isaiah Moore's in the house. Good morning, Isaiah. NHL favorites starting to hit heavy. Avs Rangers. Yeah, you know what? I saw that this morning, and I'll get to that in just 1 second. In fact, let's go right there, right now, in the SBI. And again, welcome to the opening bell. And this is what we're going to do each and every morning at 9 o'clock. We're going to come on live. And, you know, people are saying, hey, I thought you were on at 10:30. Well, there's going to be more of the Rain Report throughout the morning. And instead of just being at 10:30, we're going to come on at the top of the morning at 9 o'clock. And then we're going to be intermittent every 45 on the hour almost, right? So there'll be more Rain Report just in separation of the morning, right? In different compartments. All right, so looking at the SBI, the Sports Betting Index for the National Hockey League. Big night for the favorites. In fact, it was a big night yesterday for the favorites, NHL, NBA. Yesterday, 4-1 for the favorites in the NHL, but look at this, 12-1 on Saturday. Now I know why my hockeypicks.com went 12-1 on Saturday. I did play a few favorites, but I didn't think it was that many. 12-1 on Saturday, 4-1. The favorites in the NHL the last 2 days, 16-2. And I'm sure the books took it on the chin there because a lot of recreational players tend to play favorites. So if they're taking those favorites and they're betting parlays, yeah, the books, well, they're not too happy right now, right?
It's a dog-eat-dog world, Sammy, and I'm wearing milk-bone
Yeah,
underwear.
no, it wasn't a doggy-dog world. It was a favorite world, and you can see, yeah, the favorites crushed it. In fact, the last 7 days for the favorites, 66% compared to 59.9 on the year. So if you compare the year average of favorites to the last, well, just yesterday, and the 3-day average, well, the 3-day average, what's hurting that is this right here, is the Friday night, the 3 underdogs winning Friday night. This would be really high, close to the 8% club if the 3 underdogs didn't win Friday night. Speaking of over-unders, 60% of the games went over yesterday, and on the 7-day average, 57% on the under. So neutral market when it comes to the NHL over-unders. Let's take a look at the NBA right now, and you can see yesterday another big day for the favorites. In fact, they went 6-2 on Sunday, 5-2 on Saturday, 6-5 on Friday, and the 7-day average is at 57%. Still a neutral market. That's because the dogs had some days. Where was it? Yeah, right here. This 1 day. See, the thing is with the SBI, that 1-0 day can really throw off the percentages, as you can see right here. But on the 3-day average, favorites winning 67% and covering. And this is something you don't see much often here, is the favorites covering at a high percentage, 65.3 the last 3 days. When you compare it, 49.3 on the year. So you can see the bookmakers have done a very good job splitting the room, right? That's the job of the bookmaker. You got 100 people in the room. You want 50 betting the favorites, 50 betting the dogs, and you can see the bookmakers doing a good job in that department. Same thing with the over-unders on the season. NBA 50.2, 49.8 on the over-unders. And the last 7 days, well, 60% of NBA games have gone over the total. And yesterday was a big day for the under, 6-2 to the under in the NBA. In fact, when I was doing my homework, I did have a lot of unders scratched. In fact, I had one pick yesterday, and it was the under in the Denver-New Orleans game, and we were able to cash that ticket. All right, let's get to the Bears and Bulls report. And this report here is brought to you by ATSstats.com. And you can see right here that the Bears and Bulls for the average, let me see here, the Bears, no, we're very bullish. In fact, if you look at all the A-type teams in the Raymond report, very bullish right now, 19-5 straight up. All the A-type teams, Boston, Milwaukee, Phoenix, New Orleans, those are teams that are very bullish right now. So meaning they're either 6-0, 5-2, or 6-1 in their last 7 games. The only team that's let me see here. No, the neutral teams in the A-type teams, Those are teams that are Cleveland, Denver, Memphis, and you can see right there they are neutral right now. The B-type teams in the Rain Report, you can see Utah is not having a good time right now. They are bearish. In fact, Utah is 2-5 in their last 7 games. And for the, let me see here, who else is bearish? No, Brooklyn and Golden State, two teams you eventually thought they would come through and have a better outing. They've been bullish. Golden State and Brooklyn, they've been bullish the last 7 days, and you can see they're on their last 7 games, so they're having a good run. Indiana, Dallas, so be careful if you like Dallas tonight. They are in a bearish cycle. Same thing for Indiana. Maybe that's why they're a big underdog tonight. And then Washington, San Antonio, Orlando's, those are teams that are struggling. And you want to stay off those teams right there. All right, let's take a look here at the... let me see here. Okay, so we got, all right. So you see here the Bears and Bulls report brought to you by ATSstats.com. That is for the NBA. Let's take a look at the NHL, the Bears and Bulls in the NHL. And you can see that Boston, New Jersey, Winnipeg, Tampa Bay, Seattle, and the Islanders, those are your A-type teams. Vegas, the reason why they're a bit neutral right now is because they're on the road and they are playing, it's tough to win on the road, right? And when you enjoy a lot of home cooking, you tend to win more of your home games. But Vegas has been on an East Coast trip, and you can see Vegas right now 4-3 in their last 7 games. Still a good record, 18-8. But New Jersey and Boston, they're having a season from it's unbelievable the way what they're happening in Boston. Still haven't lost a game at home on a 3-game win streak. And you see the B-type teams in the Rain Report. Not one team in the B department is bearish. So all the B-type teams are either bullish or neutral. And the C-type teams, struggling. C-type teams that are struggling, this is the reason why they're C-type teams. LA, St. Louis, Rangers, Columbus, Philadelphia, Arizona, Chicago, San Jose, Anaheim. Those are teams you probably want to stay away from. And those are your Bears and Bulls. All right, let's take a look at the NBA standings right now. And you can see right here that the NBA standings in the straight up ATS and over-under department, you can see here the favorites so far this year in the NBA have won 64.9% of their games this year. Home favorites, look at this, 70.3% of their games. So if you're betting home favorites this year, they are winning 70.3% of their games. And which range is doing the best job? Well, you can see that home favorites of 9.5 to 12 have won 76.1% of the games, but only covering 40. Is this the right here? 42%. Wow, not a very good record against the point spread. And which team in the point spread you want to be looking at? Well, home favorites of 6.5 to 9 have covered 59.6%, but home underdogs, if you're betting home underdogs in the NBA of 6.5 to 9, they are covering 60% of their games. They are 17-9-2 for the home underdogs. And let me just take a look at the over-unders to see where you should be betting the overs or unders. And so far this year, you can see we are very balanced when it comes to the over-unders. The only thing I can see that's probably an edge is home favorites this year of Pick'em to -3, 19-37-1 to the under. So a pretty good ratio right there to the under if you like betting home favorites of Pick'em to -3. NHL. Favorites winning 60% of their games this year, and home favorites 59.4, but where the value lies is the road favorites. Road favorites 63.04%, and if you look here at the road team with a total of 7, 5-2 straight up for the road teams, but I found some nice pearls for you guys here on a Monday. And where is it? Home teams when the total's 5.5. Look at this, 16-5 for the home team. So let me go back right here, and this is what I did. I went to look at my database. Home teams totals 5.5 current season, and see what the record is. 16-5 for the home teams. So maybe you want to keep an eye out on that trend. Home teams when the total's 5.5. New York Islanders are 4-1 straight up, and the other team that's doing pretty well is Dallas 2-1. But it's always the same characters, right? You're looking at the teams with the 5.5. You're looking at Dallas. You're looking at let me see here. Who was the Rangers have a couple of 5.5. That was earlier in the year, October 11th and November 28th. That's just recently with the Devils. But Islanders, keep an eye on the Islanders. They are 4-1 at home as a favorite when the total's 5.5. So some good information right there. All right. Let me see. OKC should start reverse the under. says Isaiah Moore. And let's take a look at the stats and trends in the NHL right now. And you can see that the Clippers as a favorite versus Charlotte, 18-2 straight up. Milwaukee is a home or away team, and the total is 220 or more. 4-16-0 to the under. And let me see here if we have any other good stats and trends for tonight. Got a lot of great games in the association. When the Phoenix Suns are a road team, last 2 years after a non-division game, coming off an under, 8-2 against the point spread. Golden State is a home favorite, playing on a cash-out Monday after a conference game, coming off a win over a Southwest opponent, 10-2. And do have another good one. Look at this. The Milwaukee Bucks, anytime they're a 9.5 to 12-point road favorite, totals 220 or more last 4 years, 16-0. So, as you know, I don't like to lay that many points, but you might want to consider them maybe in a 2-team parlay. And then looking over here, you can see some other great stats. When the Clippers are a road favorite last 5 years, and they are 2-3 in their last 5 games, 18-4 straight up. So a lot of good 80% club stats here today for the NBA. Let's take a look at the NHL right now, and let's go to the association. The Bettman circuit. You can see Edmonton as a favorite versus Washington in their last 10 games, 8-2 straight up. When Vancouver is a home favorite in the month of December, last 20 games, 16-4. Maybe that's why they're a big chalk tonight. And let me see the under. If you like the under in the Philadelphia game, anytime they're a home underdog versus a non-conference opponent, totals 5.5, and they score 2 goals or 2 or less goals for in their last game. 1-10 to the under. So maybe the under is where you want to lean here tonight. And tonight, Philadelphia at home facing the Colorado Avalanche, defending Stanley Cup champions. And let me take a look. Boston Bruins, man, anything we talk about Boston's going to look good because they're 20-3. Anytime Boston's a home team last 2 years, coming off a 3-game win streak, 8-2 straight up, and they're playing the Vegas Golden Knights tonight. That's going to be a tough one for the Boston Bruins. You know, Vegas is not a tough out, right? It's like they're a tough team. Rangers as a home favorite on Monday, coming off a home loss as a favorite, 9-2 straight up. And I thought I had a good one. Look at this. Yeah, Boston Bruins. Obviously, when you're 23, you're going to have a lot of great stats. But Edmonton, as a home favorite, last 2 years, and they are 4-3 in their last 7 games. They are 19-2 straight up. And here's your mic drop off for today. When the Vancouver Canucks are a home favorite last 5 years, and they won their last game by 1 goal or more, and they are 1-2 in a 3-game cycle, 3-17 to the under, and those are your 80% club stats, courtesy of ATSstats.com. All right, don't forget, you can follow the NHL podcast at 9:45 Eastern this morning. The NBA podcast will be at 10:30. NFL Monday Night Football preview will happen at 11:30, and then we come on at 2 o'clock with the pick show, and we'll come back here and give you our top plays of the day for the members right here at the Raymond Report. All right, thanks for watching the opening bell, and I'll be back here at 9:45 with your NHL podcast. In the meantime, shop for value, play those percentages. I'll see you back shortly with another Raymond Report.